it is expedient for us to escalate firepower as the fastest solution to the carnage that is befalling our homeland, and as a way to stop this provocation with Cameroon getting into Bakassi, appointing her colonial administrators, and organizing festivities, getting credits for themselves. Dr. Tita, what do you think?
Thank you so much, Director Padi. Greetings, Senior Barrister. Greetings, SOS Zama. I'm extremely excited to be here today and also to talk on this discussion in regards to the article that was written out there by one fellow there, talking about the ceremony that's coming up in neighboring La République du Cameroon. I must admit that I love the approach that Senior Barrister Fu took in looking into this ceremony that's supposed to be coming up. But before I even attempt to even address that issue, Director Padi, initially I think you had two questions. What should we do initially? And is Cameroon defeating us in this war? In response to your first question, I think we are doing what we are supposed to do. Thanks to the great leadership of the president, the firepower has not stopped on the ground. Despite even all the confusion, the infiltration, the destruction, the sellouts that La Republique has had in the struggle, and despite billions that La Republique has pumped in to destroy this struggle, the focus and the vision of the president has not changed and is a free and independent Southern Cameroon. There's still active firepower going on the ground. I mean, before this program started, I saw the videos you just showed us here from Ngoketunja with Field Marshal Sagon and his boys on the ground executing and delivering and, affirming to their commitment for a free and independent Southern Cameroon. So we, like Barrister Fu was just saying, that maybe in some areas, like in the Dian and the Bakassi Peninsula area, maybe we might have to increase the firepower there on the ground. We'll leave that for the defense team to look into that. But is Cameroon defeating us like in this war, like the other question you had? Absolutely no. Let me tell you, we are defeating the colonial regime hands down in this war. Let me tell you, if they were anywhere close to defeating us in this fight, they would have declared victory a long time ago. I mean, you see the results on the ground every day, how they've been killed there on the ground. Their colonial militaries are being killed there by the boys on the ground defending the territory. So, and we will continue to do so. The fact that the international community is not making an open statement does not mean that they are not watching what is going on. It's a process. So they're following through the process, and the right time will come, thanks to our resistance on the ground and our resilience to support this struggle. We will defeat La République du Cameroon. And once it gets to that time, the international community will have no option but to come and make the pronunciation and give us the victory that we so desperately need at this time. But while waiting for them to make that decision, we will continue to defend homeland until that the time will come when the Republic will come to that negotiation table, or the international community will be pushed or forced to make those pronouncements. The article that you shared online that I read, I'm going to tell you, I looked at it in three different aspects. It's evident and it's out there that Bakassi Peninsula belongs to the Southern Cameroons. It's not to La République du Cameroon. Like the senior barrister and SOS Zaman rightly said, that the maps are there that clearly defines it. The legal boundaries are there. These are recognized boundaries, internationally recognized legal boundaries that we have within our territory. But I look at this ceremony that they're coming to supposedly neighboring La République du Cameroon to have in their colonial capital, Yaoundé, in three different ways. First is the aspect that the senior barrister just introduced, which is bringing these investors to come in and talk to them about Bakassi Peninsula to see if they can come in there and exploit our resources. That could be a potential part of their discussion, because I will tell you for a fact, talking to people in Washington, D.C., that sometimes these resources in any territories in the world can be there for over 30 years and it's not exploited. or sometimes it can be there depending on what time before they can bring in the right company to start exploiting the resources. So I don't know if that's part of the discussion that's going to be going on in Yaoundé, but like the senior barrister is suggesting, I'm beginning to think that yes, part of this ceremony might lean towards that discussion. Hey, there is Bakassi here. Can you guys come and exploit it within this short time while we get some? So why they get some money before either they come to the negotiation table or before the international community makes a decision or come out openly with their final decision. They want to see if they can tap into those resources from our territory. But let me say one thing, because I read that article very clearly and closely from our analysis. First, the author of that message want to pass out one message, which is paint the regime or the colonial genocidal regime and the colonial genocidal president as clean, as, oh, this guy is not wanting to fight war. This guy, they had the opportunity there with Nigeria where they could fight war, but they decided to come to the negotiation table. So he wants to paint this colonial genocidal regime and colonial genocidal president as one that is clean to the international community, because they know already, the international community knows that La République du Cameroon is committing huge crimes there in our territory, killing our people. So they want to see, let's just write something that will clear the regime. That's the aspect of the international community. And then second, my interpretation in regards to painting the regime as clean is because that regime of neighboring French Cameroon is getting close to a time where they need to have someone there as the president. And they have to paint the regime as clean and not wanting to fight war, because they don't want either the Nordis or the Bamilikes from coming into war with them once they make these switches or these changes that they're supposed to make there as far as selecting who to be their president is concerned. So they want to paint all of the country as, oh, the country is supposed to be peaceful, nobody should be fighting. But I would think that if the Nordis or the Bamilikes accept or allow something like that, then I think that they are fools if they cannot step up and fight against this regime. Now, the third aspect that I saw in that write-up was the aspect of them bringing in Kamto. I thought initially, I knew for a fact initially that maybe Kamto was moved out of the regime to act as an opposition leader, and in the same manner in which they used John Fundi, to act as an opposition leader for people to think that there is some democracy there. They're looking for a way to bring him back in that to the regime. So this in that write-up, they're bringing Kamto to come in there as one of the people that defended La République du Cameroon during the court case that had to do with Nigeria. So that would be, I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, Senior Barrister Fru, that would be the first time that Kamto would show up in an official ceremony with the regime. And so that's bringing Kamto back in and then say, okay, let's work together. Oh, before they change this president, let's not see some riot come out there, from the Bamili case. So, I mean, the strategy is pretty big, and I could analyze it in so many different ways. But what is the fact? The fact is very clear that Bakassi Peninsula belongs to the Southern Cameroon, and the international community is aware of that. They can keep stealing our resources temporarily. It's temporary in the way that they do now. Why waiting that the international community should make that decision and to see if we are going to continue? We're going to continue to exist. But like Senior Barrister said, we have our boys there in Indian. We just need to continuously support them. The Indian draft is coming up very soon. I think the president had a town hall meeting yesterday that would look into the draft, the launching of the draft that is supposed to start very soon. We are hoping that if there's anyone that has been sitting on the sideline and thinking that, oh, this struggle was going to fail with the help of the coup plotters or the sellouts that collected money to destroy the struggle, you were afraid that it was going to fail. This struggle is alive, and we will defeat La République du Cameroon in this fight. So you have to come back in and let's continue to draft and let's defeat La République du Cameroon in this thing.